Welcome to the Critically Clueless. I'm the Monk and I'm here today with another video on golf with friends. So I'm going to be doing a walkthrough for Oasis course. Now this is following my last video on Forest. Now there's not as many hole-in-ones, but I did my very best to try and find the best possible shots I could in each hole. And I hope you enjoyed the video. So hole number one. This is quite an easy two-touch. I couldn't find a hole-in-one on this one. But this was the best I could find. So don't hit two power, otherwise just go straight over. And anything from this range, probably just under one, will get you in. On to hole number two. And there are a lot of different shots here. You can pretty much hit a ton of different angles and get a hole-in-one here, but this is just the one I used. And boom, hole-in-one. This one was a little bit harder. You see that tree? You just want to aim just to the left of it. And there we go, hole-in-one. On to hole number four now. And this one took me a little bit. But look at that. Another hole-in-one. Now this one, if you don't hit this shot, it's doomed. So make sure you aim exactly where I was aiming, full power, and you should end up just up here. And then with a little bit of luck on your side, you'll be able to pop this in for two. There we go, a little eagle. Okay, so hole number six, again, is a little bit tricky. With the exact shot I'm doing, there's a very small chance that you'll get stuck in the hole. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second, but a small chance you get stuck in the hole and it will take you an extra shot. If you do this full power and don't take off this little bit, again, you won't actually make the left side. You'll end up in a right side, and again, it'll cost you an extra shot as well. Hole number seven, and I like to use these little hieroglyphs on the side like this for pointers. And there we go, a little hole-in-one. Again, hole-in-one. Again, you see the hieroglyph I'm aiming at. It really doesn't matter. All you got to do is make it past that first bend, and that'll probably put you past that second bend as well. But you can see the flag just in the distance. A little birdie. This is one of my more favorable holes. A little bit easier than the others. A little more straightforward. It's important to note just how far away that flag is. Make sure you get that power right. Gonna want about 3 power. Any more than that and it will probably go over. There we go. So moving on to hole 11, and the important part here is make sure you get the ball in the water. Don't forget, guys, you can use Y to actually free roam and have a look at the hole so you know where you're going and know where you're supposed to go. And remember, if you tap A while you're in the water, you can make your ball do a little jump. And you're going to need that here. Now, you may be able to get a hole in one in this shot. I couldn't find it. But just try and make sure you get yourself in the water and at least prepare yourself for a two tap. Don't forget to use that camera angle. See how I done a little pre-bounce? I done a little bounce in the water for a bigger bounce out. Again, this is really close, so a little bit under 1 power. Excuse me for a birdie. This hole is an interesting one. Now, there's a couple of ways to do it. The way I did it, you see, this turntable, you kind of want to avoid the crap out of it if you can. But as you see, a little bounce off, and I've set myself up for another one here. Now that bouncing off is a lot easier than if you was going to try and go across it. So, and we're on to hole number 13. Now you see this bit that's going up and down, up and down. You want to try and go under that. That's the important part. Use this side to kind of curve yourself around. It sets you up for the next shot. Don't need great power, but again, you want to make sure you do go under it. There we go. And we actually cut out the next part of this hole completely by doing a little jump into the final part. Now, if you don't follow the power I did on the previous shot, it won't line you up for this next one. So try and take note. Not too much power, but you know, it's quite a jump. And there we go. Now you may be able to get, you know, that in 2. I did it in 3. I'm quite happy for birdies, but there's a possible eagle there. On this next hole, obviously, you know, it's more important to aim when the mouth is open. Now there's a little crack in between these 2 pillars, which you're trying to get your ball under. Don't go, it's quite far away, but don't go for the power. You want to just make sure you get that center. And again, remember we're going uphill here, so not too much power, but you're going to need that little bit extra than you would normally. Now that one obviously could have been put in a birdie, but I messed up that first shot. This one is possibly one of the hardest in the course. You really have to aim exactly where I was aiming there, because even a millimeter either side and it messes up the whole hole. So again, this is definitely one of the harder holes on the course. But if you want to skip it, do what I did and it should set you straight. Again, I was possibly a little bit unlucky with that shot, but again, this is a very hard shot, so I'm quite happy to take a birdie. This is one of the easier shots, of course, on the hole. Little cheeky bounce. And the flag's actually around this corner here to the right. So you kind of just want to aim against this backboard. Um, you ricochet a few times and you'll get pretty close to the hole. Um, I think this is achievable for most players. This is quite simple hole, really. I was a bit unlucky with that, but again, quite happy with 3 strokes on this par 4. And this is one of the luckier shots I've ever made. But you really want to aim exactly where I'm aiming, full power, and you can little two-shot that. But I think it is even possible for a hole-in-one here. So if you find it, let me know. And unfortunately, on this hole, the last hole, I couldn't find a good shot. I couldn't do it. And I tried and I tried and I tried, but unfortunately, this last one got the better of me. And this is the best gameplay that I could find for you guys. Um, and believe me, I did try and try and try it, but unfortunately, I couldn't even get this one in par. So if any of you find a good little trick to get hole number 18 on par or under, drop it in the comments because I would love to see some footage of it or love to try and replicate it. And I have been the Monk and this has been Incredibly Clueless.